What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for pressing play. Today, you can tell we are here at Blackout Tinting for something that's going to make this C8 Corvette look freaking awesome, and it's not going to break the bank. So let's get into it now. All right, guys, so obviously you guys have all seen my C8 Corvette by now, but you know there's one giant thing missing. If you have followed any of my vlogs previously talking about my black C7 Corvette ZR1, you know this thing right here is kind of glaringly missing something, and it's right in this area here. But we're here at Blackout Tinting today to finally get that problem solved. Josh and all the great minds here at Blackout Tinting finally got it to the point where it fits 100% perfectly, and it's a little more difficult on this car than it was on the C7 because the black edges around the gold bow tie are actually raised. So you have to get a black piece of vinyl that will perfectly fit in there without overlapping or not going far enough, all that good stuff. So Josh finally got it. We're going to get it installed today. It is without a doubt the cheapest mod you can do for a Corvette in general that makes a way bigger difference than you would think because of how small that spot is. It literally is one of the first things I noticed when walking up to a C7, or in this case a C8. That glaringly gold that doesn't match anything, it just punches you in the face as you're walking up to it. So that's going to be the first mod, guys. We're actually going to do another mod today as well for the C8 that's also relatively cheap, but it's not quite as cheap as those vinyl pieces are going to be, and that's going to be some protection for the actual nav screen on the inside. If you guys have a C8 Corvette, you already know it comes with kind of a factory protectant on there, and if you can see, mine's starting to get like weird bubble lines in it and stuff, so it's time to come off. It's time to get some serious protection in there. And if you guys haven't seen the video before I did with the C7 Corvette getting the same kind of protection, this stuff is actually made by XPEL. It's called XPEL RX, and what that does is it actually adds some antimicrobial features to the screen protector itself. So not only will it protect the screen, it will help minimize fingerprints, it will help keep scratches off the screen, it will help if there's anything that ever impacts the screen, but in this case it will actually help keep bacteria off of it as well. Now what's really cool is that XPEL actually has a pattern cut for the C8 Corvette that fits 100% perfectly, and it's going to fit the entire screen all the way down to the push button start. So it's going to look like 100% factory. Now back here in the car again, as you guys can see, the entire screen all the way down here to the push button is kind of a piano black whenever the screen is off. So having some sort of protection there is going to be massive, and we're going to get it done here at Blackout Tinting today. The best part is, guys, you can buy this stuff. So the black bow tie in the front and the XPEL RX will be for sale on my website, linked in the description down below, but you're going to get to see firsthand how they're installed and how freaking awesome they're going to look and how much protection they're going to offer. So we're going to have Josh come out here and install the vinyl piece on the C8 Corvette because you kind of have to have steady hands to get it done, and I want him to tell you all about the installation procedure and how awesome this piece is going to be. Josh is the guy who's going to be installing this just because it's a little more difficult than it was with the C7 Corvette. He's going to kind of show us some tips and tricks, right? Yeah, okay. Absolutely.
So we've got a bunch of them cut here, which you're obviously not going to have that when you're at home with these, but I'm using tweezers. We're really picky about what tweezers we have here. We get these at CVS. I think they're called Beauty 360. It would surprise you how long it took us to find the right tweezers, but here we go. It's not rocket science, but this one's a little bit different than the C7 because it's recessed. The C7, you can just sort of be a little bit sloppy with it, and as long as it covers the gold, it doesn't matter. This one, that's not really the case, so we're just gonna get it laid in there.
Oh, that looks good.
Very gently.
That looks freaking awesome already.
Yeah, so that covers that up. Now, you can pretty much leave it at that. If you have a heat gun, heat it up a little bit. I'm gonna use a torch because we're outside. I don't have electric out here, so I'm just hitting it with a torch and pushing on it real quick. But also, if you happen to have like a plastic, we call them hard cards, or this is a silver triangle or some type of squeegee, you might be able to get a little bit of a better result. Just sort of pushing it into those corners a little bit. But even if you don't have this, like Justin said right when we put it on, you could tell it looked pretty good already.
Yeah, that looks freaking awesome, guys. So like I said, a lot of these have been sold for the C7 Corvette. They were a really, really hot ticket item. Everybody wanted that because, as you can see, even standing from this distance, you can clearly tell something is massively different about that area. It looks so much better this way. So like I said, guys, Josh is the guy who kind of put all this stuff into motion. We're going to sell these things on the website just like we do for the C7 Corvette as well. Be sure to check them out if you want your C8 to look that freaking awesome. I mean, it literally looks like it should have come that way. It's awesome, guys. So in the description down below, check it out one more time. I'm loving it, Josh. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
All right, guys, so secondly, we're going to install this XPEL RX on the interior of the Corvette. And as you can see here, this is the software they use. That is the pattern for the actual screen in the Corvette. So everything down to the push button and past will be covered with XPEL to prevent scratching, and in this case, help prevent any kind of bacterial buildup. Pretty cool stuff. It's an interesting way of protecting a car just because it's a little bit more than your typical XPEL due to that antibacterial function of it. So Aaron's the guy here. He's obviously a blackout tinting worker. He does a lot of the XPEL installations, and from what I understand, he is very pro at this. So he's going to go ahead and use the machine here to cut that pattern from that software, and then we're going to install this on the C8 Corvette. So here we are back in the C8 with Aaron. He is now removing the factory protectant, which that means the car is now broken in. Aaron broke in my car before I could, so he's obviously just going to clean up the surface now, even though this thing was kind of protecting it. This actually worked really well for a long period of time. This was really nicely applied from factory, and it lasted, what, like 8 months, 10 months, something like that. But ultimately, we need that XPEL. You know how I am, guys. I got to XPEL everything. If it's not XPEL, it's not perfected. But seriously, this particular one is just cut so nicely. I just figured it's going to look so awesome on here anyway. I might as well get it done. Plus, Aaron's the freaking master at this stuff, so it'll look just like factory anyway. So obviously, guys, this is a wet install. You don't have to completely drench anything, but you do want it to be kind of soapy so you can apply this and move it around. Yeah, look at that. Look at the protection all the way down there around the start button. It's pretty awesome. So all we really did was line it up and then just kind of squeegee out the water. It's a lot easier said than done, I know, but I feel like for something this small, pretty much anybody could probably do this. What do you think, Aaron?
As long as you don't use too much solution, you should be all right.
So I've sold a couple of these already for the C7 Corvette and even the Colorado, and I have not heard any problems with installation. So I think you guys would be pretty happy with the results of this if you were to buy one of these for your C8. And this one actually covers a lot more real estate than it does on the C7 or the Colorado. So this is actually pretty beneficial for the interior in general, not just the screen, because it does protect that piece over there with the push button, which is just like a piano black, very prone to scratching. So definitely something to consider. All right, guys, so he is done with the install, and as you can see, it is an invisible install. So these are the best kind of installs, or the ones that you'll never see again, but the functionality will be there of antimicrobial, self-healing, and of course, impact resistance. So if you have some sort of impact or scratch that happens there, it's gonna be in the film, and if the scratch isn't too severe, you can actually get the scratch to disappear with some heat. So very, very fruitful trip to blackout tinting today. We obviously got the screen protected with XPEL RX, and then we also got the new and freaking insanely improved black Chevy bow tie in the Corvette emblem. Like I said, guys, I've sold a bunch of these for the C7 Corvette. They're now going to be for sale for the C8 Corvette. You guys have been asking for them. They're now here. They're a little more difficult to install. You need to have a little bit more patience, but guys, it looks absolutely phenomenal. I love the way it changes up the front end. It's something so tiny and so cheap, but it really makes a giant impact. But anyway, guys, that is going to do it for the video today. As usual, I want to give a big thumbs up, a big thank you to everybody here at Blackout Tinting. Aaron did the install of the XPEL RX on the screen inside the C8. And then, of course, Josh did the install of the black bow tie for the vet symbol in the front. They do absolutely freaking everything here, it seems. So if you guys are in the market for any kind of detail products on your car, definitely check out Blackout Tinting. But that's going to wrap up this video. So if you guys liked what you saw, please give me a big thumbs up. Head over to Blackout Tinting's YouTube channel and give them a thumbs up as well. They are in the process of starting up a newer channel, and they would love to have you guys as a subscriber as well. If you guys haven't subscribed to my channel, though, you're going to definitely want to do that, because there is a lot of C8 Corvette content you are not going to want to miss. And as as always, guys, I will catch you in the next upload.